in this. Thank you, Becca. Totally forgot about that. Thank you so much. My name is Ilham. I'm a team leader, in the Sydney Southwest area, and I'll be facilitating tonight's class. A little bit about me. I've been a consultant for about 10 years, and I absolutely love this business. I will be there for as long as I can stay. I don't know, do you guys want to all introduce yourself now, or do you prefer introducing yourselves during your, as you starting your dishes? What do you reckon?
Let's do it as we go.
Okay, perfect. Well, it's your turn anyway.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm just browsing the names on the screen. My name's Beck McAllister. I've been, like Ilham, a consultant for over 10 years now. I started my business in Canberra back in the TM5 days. And I've also been a team leader. We've had some really exciting things sort of happen in our business. And a couple of years ago, I moved across to the Southern Highlands with my family. So now that is home base. And I also do a lot of my business online, which is the lovely thing about Thermomix now, is you don't just have to go into people's kitchens. You can do it from anywhere, which I love. Now, guys, I'm going to be doing a really quick dinner for you tonight in my TM7. And this is a recipe that I have made probably 4 times in the last 2 weeks because everybody absolutely loves it. I'm tweaking the recipe slightly, and I'm going to explain to you why once I kick us off. So I guess a little bit of housekeeping. If anyone has questions, pop them in the chat and one of us will come back to you. And there'll also be a recording and an email at the end with all the recipes. So don't feel like you need to, go off and search for the recipes as we cook, but they are all from Cookie-Doo. Mine is specific to the TM7 and it's called tomato and mushroom spaghetti. So step 1 of this, like all good recipes, is finely chopping some garlic. That goes into my bowl. And I'm going to chop that for 3. Oops, I pressed skip instead of go. There we go.
That's a good
thing. On speed 7.
Like, that's a good thing because you could have showed them how to go back to that step. It's just literally 3 dots next to that step and says set that as a step again. Yeah.
Thanks, Ilham. Okay, so where this is going to be a little bit different. The recipe says at this point, basically to add all of the ingredients. So the bacon, the mushrooms, the stock, the tomatoes, everything. But I actually want to brown my bacon off a little bit before I start, just to give it a bit of extra flavour. So what I'm going to do, on the TM7, we now have access to high heat, so 160 degrees, but in manual cooking. So rather than having to follow a guided recipe like you had to with the TM6, on the 7, you can set that mode manually. So I'm going to go into my modes section, and I know I'm a bit far away for you to see, but this is where you find your pre-clean, the dough, the egg boiler. There's a new steaming mode, which I'm not sure. Oh, yes, someone's using that tonight. Ilham will be. But I'm going to open browning. And then what I'm going to do is pop in my bacon, and it's going to brown. I'm going to just give it like 5 or 6 minutes before I add the rest of the ingredients. So the default is 10 minutes. I'm just going to dial that back down, let's say 5. And I'm going to pop in my bacon. I actually have a little more here than the recipe said, but I think that's okay. Lid goes on. And now this is going to cook at 160 degrees. There are 2 options. I can do gentle or intense heat. The main difference is the gentle heat stirs a little more often so that it doesn't sear for quite so long on the bottom of the bowl. But there we go. That's going to go for 5 minutes, after which I'm going to add all the other ingredients all in one go. So mushrooms, tomato, all that stuff. And I'm going to come back later and show you open cooking in the TM7 for the spaghetti. Over to Cornell, who's making a quiche for us tonight. She's going to show us pastry.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cornell Bothma. I've been a consultant here in Canberra for 8 years, nearly 9, and I'm a team leader as well. And I thought we will do the quiche Lorraine, which is a very traditional, very loved quiche, bacon and cheese. But of course, if you know me, I always have to do something different. So I will talk you through that. So making the pastry, why I chose this specific cookie dough recipe. So the pastry doesn't need to be baked before you add your ingredients or your filling ingredients, which I love. So blind baking is really easy if you know how. But with this one, you just put all of your ingredients into the bowl, following the recipe, mix that up for 30 seconds, and you get a beautiful pastry. You don't even have to let it rest like some of the other recipes. So I've already, because this is like TV cooking, already made the pastry and just rolled that up, rolled that out, sorry. So on our thermomat, which you can get at the mix shop, is amazing because it's got the rings and the centimeters. So if you people that don't know about the thermomat, they are just amazing. If you've seen them at a demo, people put their dough in there, rest their dough. You can even bake on it, but rolling it out, then you've got a good idea of the size of your dough to go into your pan. So you can just take your quiche tin and see, you know, how big it is and how big you need to roll it up. So what I've done, I've put it on a mat already, put some baking paper, or if you've got another mat, of course, you can put that on top and just roll that out. You can, you know, put a little bit of extra flour on your mat as well as on your rolling pin, just so that it doesn't stick. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. Then I just take my rolling pin and then I will show you how to get it into your pan. So a quiche pan, you can get the rose gold one on the mix shop as well. It's got a loose bottom, loose piece, right? Always put it in a baking tray because you've got that loose bottom. So if you've got a lot of liquid, it might seep out into your oven, which you don't want, right? So then basically what you do, I just fold my pastry slowly over my rolling pin like that. And then very loosely from the one side, you're going to place it in there. You don't want it to be too tight. And then you just sort of ease it into your pan like that. If you can see what I'm doing. I always tend to leave the edges on, bake it like this, because sometimes it shrinks a little bit and then your sides and your pastries, the crust is too short. So I'm just going to ease that a little bit more in there. Take a fork and just put some holes into that. Let me just get a fork. And then you just want to put some holes in there so that you don't get air bubbles, and that puffs up and it pushes all of your filling out. And just a couple on the sides as well. Now I did use the custard recipe for this recipe, to make this recipe of the quiche Lorraine, the original one. So that asks for creme fraiche, but creme fraiche is a little bit more expensive. So you can use sour cream. You can use plain cream. You can use cottage cheese. So this is just a mixture of a little bit of sour creme fraiche that I had in my fridge. And then I topped it up with a light sour cream, some milk, and some eggs. So that is my custard ready to go. I've already grinded my parmesan. So it's asking us for, what was that? Gruyere cheese. So this is a cheaper, very good alternative to that. And then the filling. So I had some bacon, which the recipe asked for, but I thought, you know what? I've got a couple of other ingredients that I want to use up as well. So I had some spinach, there's onion, there's mushrooms and bacon. So I thought, maybe I'll have a look at a different recipe that's got a quiche recipe, but that's got those fillings. So the Nonnie Jenkins recipe for the mushroom spinach quiche, I did that. So I've combined those two recipes to put that together. So the filling is Noni Jenkins, but the pastry is the quiche Lorraine. So whenever you use something like spinach, you can even have some capsicum in there. You can use sun-dried tomato. That's all good. But whenever you've got something like spinach, you want to drain it because there's quite a bit of liquid. All right. So I've got my pastry in there. So I'm just going to add my filling to the bottom of this and just spread that out. So the quiche Lorraine had a little bit of a facelift with some other ingredients in there. Then you just even that out. And then the custard goes over the top. So that is your creme fraiche or sour cream and egg and milk mixture. So I'm just going to pour that on top. Now, if you think it's not enough, add another egg, beat it with a little bit of milk, and just fill your tart where this one is pretty good. And then you top it with your cheese. And you can be quite generous with that. You can always add a little bit of pepper or some herbs that you've got. And then this go into the oven for half an hour on a baking tray. There we go. And that's how quick and easy it is to make a quiche in the middle of the week for either lunch or for dinner. So like I said, I'm just leaving the pastry on the side. So I will just take a knife and just scrape it off after it's cooked. And then it's quite neat and tidy and you never have that short crust on the side.
I like that.
And that
That's
is the dish.
That's a good tip, Cornell. Thank you for sharing.
All right. So if we've got time and it's cooked, I will show you the end result.
Awesome. Is Beck, how are you going? What? Yeah, perfect. Oxy, your turn. You're up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Oxy. I have been a consultant for 4 years in Shoalhaven, and I simply cannot live without the Thermomix. And this year, I was very lucky. I earned my TM7, which I'm quite proud of. And tonight, I'm going to cook you an amazing dish called chicken teriyaki from Skinny Mixes Collections, which is on Cookidoo. And this recipe, I do have a hungry husband and 2 always hungry teenagers, and this recipe is so quick. It's, to me, it's faster than as a quick noodles, which I despise, unfortunately, because they're so unhealthy. But it's, of course, my opinion, not my teenagers. So I'm going to start, and the first thing, we're going to fry the chicken. And this recipe fries chicken so beautiful. It caramelizes it. It's so delicious. So I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. Now remember, the Thermomix does help you with all the ingredients and tells you what to do. I'm going to add some more chicken, which I have pre-cut for this recipe. And I'm going to use my beautiful helper, my spatula. Now remember, we do use spatula always clockwise to save your spatula, because amazing Thermomix knives are so sharp. So I'm just going to start my recipe, and here we go. But to cook it exactly for 5 minutes to brown up is a caramelization. I wish I could teleport the smell. It's amazing. Now, remember, my Thermomix is frying now, and there's no sound. It's so quiet. So it's going to take 5 minutes, and I'll come back to you in 5 minutes. If you have any questions in the meantime, do pop them in the chat.
Perfect. That's me then. I'm actually going to be making the salmon with ginger sauce and spiced cashews. Now for just for time, I pre-prepared the first couple of steps. So the first step was to actually make like a marinade, which is it consists of a red chili, a 3-centimeter piece of ginger, 1 garlic clove, and 1 spring onion, and 2 sprigs of fresh coriander. So we chopped that up for a few seconds, like 3 seconds, and then we added a tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of honey, and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and then olive oil, and we mixed that up and made a delicious marinade. Then the next step was to actually roast the cashews. So, and that's about 60 grams of cashews. So what we added so we roasted it by using 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a half a teaspoon of Szechuan peppercorns, 1 teaspoon of Chinese spice, and then about 60 grams, like I said, of raw cashew nuts and sea salt. So that roasted for about 4 minutes at 120 degrees, and that's that there. So now I'm going to the next step, and to do that, I'm going to cut off my head and bring my screen down. So we can, because I've already done those steps, we can skip and go to step 4, and it says, do you want to cook the recipe from here? You just go yes. And so it says without cleaning the mixing. That's the best thing about this recipe too. You don't have to clean the bowl between the steps. So between making the marinade and roasting the cashews, I didn't have to wash the bowl. And between roasting the cashews and steaming the salmon, I don't have to wash the bowl either. So click on next. We're going to add 500 grams of water to the bowl. So I'm just going to weigh that in. Any more to go? There we go. Just a little bit over. That's okay. So that's going to tick itself off. And now it says to add, oopsies. Go next. Put the lid on and take the lid cap off. And it's telling me to add the aroma. I've already added the salmon to the, and they're quite big pieces of salmon too, to the Varoma and the Varoma tray. And it does say to put in, to drizzle this, so 1 to 2 tablespoons of the reserved ginger sauce over the salmon food. So this is absolutely delicious. Actually, I'm going to do it like this. But if you can see it, the only reason why I'm doing it this way is because I'm going to add some of my veggies to that tray, so then I don't have to keep taking it open on and off and on every few seconds. So trying to be generous with the sauce because we absolutely love it. And you can, if you don't do coriander, you can definitely substitute the coriander with parsley or whatever other herb you prefer. So it says 150 grams of zucchini, which I've already prepared, and into little battens like that. I'm just going to place that into the tray, and I may have a little bit more than what 150 grams, because why just use 150 grams if you can use the entire zucchini, right? So I'm going to add that there. I'm also going to leave a bit of room for the zucchini to actually, for the steam, sorry, to circulate. I'm going to tick that off because I've got more than what I need. Take it off. And then, sorry, I'm going to add broccolini, which I cut into halves. So there we go. That too. That's such a big bowl. I'm going to covering. Yeah, got some extra zucchini down the bottom. Yes. Okay, I might put it on the top. And now I'm going to put the tray and the lid on. And try not to spill any of that marinade onto my bench here. That lid on. I'm going to tick that. I'm going to go next. And it says secure the Varoma lid, which I've just done. Next. So that's going to cook. It's going to steam at 6 minutes. and it's speed 1. So all I've got to do is press the play button, and yeah, we are going to wait, and then I've got the next couple of steps. So Beck, are we ready for you, or are you still busy cooking? Did you want to show something? You wanted to show us something earlier?
No, I can just quickly explain what I did if you like. So the bacon browned, it smelled amazing. I then added the rest of the ingredients. So I had my tomato, my stock paste, mushrooms. I actually added some capsicum to this dish as well. And the funny thing is, someone might have seen me, I don't know. I forgot to put the capsicum in. And so what I did is just lift the lid, because the TM7 doesn't lock when it's under speed 2. So I just lifted the lid, threw in the capsicum, and now it's almost ready. It's nearly up to temperature, at which point I am going to pop in my spaghetti and show you how the open cooking works, but I'm not quite there yet.
I think Oxy's up next here, Oxy, because I see you removing your chicken from your bowl. So you're up.
That's right. So my chicken is caramelized. Now the next direction from the recipe, the instruction says, lift the chicken out, retaining the juice inside. So my next step will be to saute my beautiful vegetables. So right now, all I'm just doing is lifting the chicken pieces, and in 5 minutes, 250 grams of chicken is made. And this can be used even for shredded chicken, for sandwiches. This recipe is so versatile and quick. In 5 minutes, you basically have chicken. I'm trying to be really healthy and increase my protein intake. That's why I know how much chicken in there, how much is protein, and it's going to take me 5 minutes. I can put it in my lunchbox. It's such an amazing recipe. So I've got it in my thermos server. I'm going to place it. It's ready to go. And my next step is very easy. I have all the amazing, delicious juices in my bowl. This smells so good. I'm going to press next. And then I'm going to add all my ingredients. Look
Dinner's
at
ready.
This beautiful
Are you
couple of-
watching TV in the bath? Time to go out.
Well, somebody is having dinner already. How good is that? So let's have a look at my beautiful vegetables. I'm going to add a little bit of shallots. Now, the vegetables can be all different. They don't have to be just vegetables according to the recipe. You can use anything. Right now, I am going according to the recipe, because this is all my family is all the vegetables. So I'm just going to place some all, and this time I'm going to place a little bit more than the recipe asks for. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. That I've got all my recipes, all my vegetables done, and I'm going to saute them for 5 minutes. Sorry, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we heard you. We heard you clearly. Thanks, Oxy.
Perfect. So all my vegetables are in the bowl, and in 5 minutes they're going to be ready to be eaten. And I must say they're al dente. They're not mushy. They are just so beautiful. I love it. It's like an amazing restaurant dish. I'm incredibly grateful to Cookidoo that it has such a great recipe. So right now I'm just going to go and gently cook it on 160 degrees. And it'll take me just another 5 minutes to cook my dish. How good is that?
Thanks, Oxy. So I've just got a minute to go, and then once my minute's up, I'll be adding the bok choy, and that's going to cook for another 6 to 7 minutes, depending on how, because I do have big pieces of salmon. I mean, that's 45% bigger, like Beck said in the chat, than the previous Varoma, and they were quite big pieces. It even filled up the Varoma, even though the Varoma is 45% bigger. But yeah, I'm just gonna see how long it still needs, and then I'll just add and change the time to how long my salmon will need. But yeah, so Beck, did you want me to talk about the? Because you said you wanted to show the jar.
I will talk about that in a little while, yeah, because I'm going to add some baby spinach to my dish later. But talk about the cutter. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll talk about the cutter right now. So for those of you that don't know, we currently have the cutter, the TM, but this is obviously the TM7 cutter. It's new, but we do have the TM5 and 6 cutter as a host reward right now. So instead of paying the full price, book in a demonstration with your consultant, and then you can get the cutter at a discounted price just for hosting. And if someone purchases a Thermomix at your demo, you can actually get it for even higher, more reduced than what the price is. I think it goes from $295 if someone buys a just for hosting. It's don't quote me, but if someone buys, it's $149. So it's a big discount. But yeah, so if you're wanting the cutter, definitely get in touch with your consultant. It comes with the cutter, which is works like a mandolin or a grater. So the one blade as number 2 at the bottom, which is the grater. Not sure if you can pick it up on the screen. Number 2 there, and then that's a grater or like matchstick sizes. And then we also have the mandolin, which is a slicing thick and thin for that, and thick and thin for this one. And then it also comes with the spiralizer, which makes like ribbon, like zucchini, like noodles, like zoodles, or that sort of thing. So thick and thin too. So you get both when you book it, when you host a demo right now. So I've got the next step in my cooking is to add the bok choy, and yeah, I'm definitely going to need a few more minutes. I'll add to the bottom of the tray actually. I'll add some to the bottom and some to the. Just don't want to cover it too much. I'll add some to the top here.
I love the layered cooking. For anyone in the room who isn't using their Varoma, please reach out to your consultant and get them to teach you or give you some recipe ideas, because it makes life so much easier. Am I right, Ilham?
So much easier, and especially if you've got cooking for like, you know, a bigger family, or if you want to entertain, you can actually cook a lot more when you're cooking in all the different things. Yeah. So I'm going to actually add an extra 2 minutes to that. So instead of saying 5 minutes, I'm going to say 7 or 8 minutes, and then I'm going to press play, and then I'm going to let that cook. So all the way up to next.
I can't remember. I was just going to look who was supposed to be next. Who's got something to show? Or is it me?
At least you, that's why I asked if you wanted to share your.
All right, let me show you. So my sauce cooked for 15 minutes, and I'm going to do my best not to spill this on my computer screen. So that is the sauce for my pasta. Now, I need to add 300 grams of spaghetti, and that's going straight into the bowl. I'm not going to break it up. It's just going to sit inside the bowl. I'm going to talk a minute about how you can adapt this recipe if you have a TM5 or a TM6 too. So bear with me. 296. Gee, I estimated that well, didn't I? All right. So this is where the TM7 once again comes into its own, because we can cook with the lid off. So at this point, the recipe has given that 3 minutes. And during that 3 minutes, what should happen is my pasta should soften and start to sink down into the bowl. And I can give it a bit of helping hand if I need to. I'm just going to give it a little push as it softens, after which I can put the lid back on to finish the cooking. So if you've got an older model Thermomix, you can still do this. You would actually drop it through the hole in the lid, but you would need to keep your motor running on probably soft stir. And that way the pasta will just gently go down into the bowl. Does that make sense for everybody? I think it does. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments. Helen. So, Helen, there will be a recording of tonight's session and you'll get sent an email with all the recipe links. Mine is the tomato and mushroom spaghetti. Oxy is doing chicken teriyaki from Skinny Mixes, I believe,
Yeah.
on Cookie Dough. Ilham, you're doing the salmon with cashew and something I can't remember the name of.
Ginger,
And
ginger
yes,
spice.
and Cornell has been showing us how to make a quiche. Quiche Lorraine. There you go. Alrighty. Oxy, is yours done? I
It
feel
is
like
indeed. Yes, I would like to show these vibrant colors. Just look at this.
love
Life
it.
already feels so much brighter and beautiful just looking at this bowl. So the recipe asks me to put my vegetables into the, just 1 second, next to my chicken. I'm just going to add it in. I need to be careful, don't burn myself because it's so hot. It's beautiful and hot. I'm going to keep this all together. I'm not sure whether you can see the steam or not. The vegetables smell delicious with the chicken. I'm going to pop the lid back on to keep the heat in one of our thermosavers. And if you don't know what thermosaver is, it's an insulated bowl. It's that keeps your food cold or hot for 2 hours. Now, being a true blue Aussie, I'm trying really hard. When I go to picnics or barbecues, in summer especially, I bring lots of cold things and hot things as well. This is perfect. And when my children come from school, the dinner is, or some days when I don't work, it's already ready and they can eat it. Or sometimes they try to cook for themselves as well. Yeah. So a couple of words about Thermomix while I'm adding my ginger and my garlic, which is the next step. I'm not cleaning my bowl and I'm going to go next. So I'm just going to chop it for 7 seconds. Zoom probably will cut off the noise, but that's okay. Perfect. Perfect. And what I like about Thermomix, cutting ginger in Thermomix, it's just incredible. And smell and garlic. It's just so beautiful. Smells incredible. Instead of pushing the garlic through the garlic press, cleaning it. What I like about the Thermomix, everything goes in the dishwasher. So the recipe calls for honey and tamari sauce or soy sauce. I'm going to put soy sauce because I have a different soy sauce that I buy in a Korean market. So it has this punchy, incredible taste. I've already added a little bit of honey. The recipe calls for corn flour to thicken the sauce. I'm not a fan of corn flour, and I'm happy with a more runny sauce. So I'm just going to add this in and just cook my sauce for a couple of minutes. Let's have a look. Just 1 second. Here we go. And for 3 minutes, while it's cooking, my friends, I'm going to let you know a little tiny story about my daughter who is studying in Canberra in ANU, and she has my Thermomix another Thermomix that I earned a couple of years ago. And what Thermomix did for her is taught her financial literacy, because Cookie Dough helps to plan the recipes. Of course, students live on a budget. She learned how to plan her finances according to the ingredients. My dog is pulling on the cord of my phone. Please don't do that. I apologize. She's smelling the chicken. How good is that? Not for you today. So my daughter, what she said, I have never spent I haven't wasted any of my money the takeaway food. And I've been cooking all this time, and I've learned how much money I need to put aside for my ingredients. Of course, sometimes she will get Uber Eats, but in general, I would just want to say Thermomix is so healthy, was so healthy for her. And she learned how to save money. And I'm just, again, I'm just so grateful that I found out about Thermomix, and so glad that it's in my life. I might sound like a really enthusiastic Jack Russell that's always barking and happy to see you. That's how I feel about my Thermomix, because it expanded the palate of my children from fish and chips with tomato sauce from Macca's to this incredible 7-star dishes, Michelin dishes. And this dish is one of them. It's so vibrant and beautiful. So back to you, my friends. I hope I have inspired you to cook more.
How long do you have on yours, Oxy? I think well, depending on if my salmon's cooked yet, but it's about to go. So let's see what it's, let's see. Yeah, it's cooked perfectly. So I'm just gonna use that as the tray to carry it, show you guys what it looks like. And then I'm going to plate up, and then I'll show you guys the end result. How long do you have on yours still, Beck? Still a while to go?
I do have a few more minutes to go. Ilham, your screen's frozen. Oh no, there you are, you're back. All good. Yeah, so guys, my lid's now on, and it's got, so what it does, the recipe tells you to set the timer for the amount of time that your packet pasta says to cook for. So mine was 10 minutes. If you weren't using spaghetti, or if you used fettuccine or something instead, just set the timer for whatever that number is. What I might do though, while I'm sort of waiting and we have a little bit of a gap in the proceedings, is I'm going to show you a fun new product that's coming to the Mix Shop. I'm a little bit biased because this was actually my request. One of the lovely things about our company is that they really do listen to feedback, and they seek the opinions of our consultant team. So a while back, they put out the call, what sort of products do you think our customers need? And my response was glass jars that can be vacuum sealed. Okay, so this is a 2-litre vacuum sealed jar. My baby spinach has been in here since last Thursday, so a week. And let me quickly show you what it looks like. So if anyone's familiar with mason jars, same principle. So it's a 2-part lid. You've got a ring, and then you've got a cap. So once it's sealed, you don't actually need the ring, but it's just helpful because once you've opened it, then you can put the lid back on. Comes with a little clip, a bit like a bottle opener. Did anyone hear that? It went.
We did indeed.
So that has now released the suction, and my spinach is beautiful and fresh. So the way that this works is the cap goes back on, and I forgot to get the actual tool out that removes the air, so bear with me. This is it here. So they call this the wand, and it's got 2 different size seals. So one is for this large size jar, and the other one is for the smaller jars. And it literally sits over the top. You push it on, and then on the top there's like a button, and this is rechargeable. So you plug it into a USB, you push the button, and it will go around and around and around and remove the air. Once all the air is removed, it stops. So yeah, these come in, I think, 5 different sizes, and they come in a pack of 3. The wand is sold separately, but I'm so excited for these. I use this sort of stuff for everything, you know, keeping berries fresh, even things like my tandoori paste or my stock paste, just to extend the shelf life of it in the fridge for a little bit, and also good for dry goods as well. There we go. It's a big jar. It took a little while, but there we go. So now it's resealed. If that excites anyone as much as it did me, you can grab them in the Mix Shop. If you'd like to get some at a discount or for free, we have a referral program, which you may or may not know about. So if you refer a friend to your favorite Thermomix consultant and that friend buys a Thermomix, you get $100 to spend in the mix shop. So talk to your consultant and maybe you can get some. Ilham, oh my goodness, look at your food. You're on mute.
Yeah, I was just going to unmute. Guys, how amazing. Restaurant quality at the touch of a button. And it was done in, what's 5 + 8? 5 minutes plus 8 minutes. And they're two separate cooking times. I'm really bad with math. So there we go, guys.
Yummy. That looks so good. And I think I saw Oxy, was yours ready too?
It is indeed. My friends, if I didn't talk with you, it would have been done under 20 minutes. So let's have a look in my beautiful veggies with my beautiful chicken. Let's have a look at these vibrant colors. And then I'm just going to pour a beautiful, amazing, homemade teriyaki sauce over it. But I wanted to show you a life hack to add a bulk to this dish. I have prepped just the most plain egg noodles you can purchase in the international aisle. And I just cooked them in my thermos server for 5 minutes. Usually I do much more, but just because all my family already had dinner, this is just a serving to show you. So I'm just going, what I'm going to do, when we're going to eat it, we're just going to combine this and voila, the dinner is ready. It's my favorite recipe. It's one of my perfect fast recipes. And when we hear fast food, we think about junk. And let me assure you, this is not. It's just perfect. I wish I could teleport it to you so we can share it. The smell is just incredible. Look, beautiful snow peas, and the snow peas are in season. The vegetables are just sensational. Just please do try if you like chicken teriyaki, and you can opt out for your own vegetables.
Oxy, can I just ask you a question? You said you cooked the noodles in the thermo server. So you just put the noodles in and poured boiling water on top. Is that what you did?
Yes, that's exactly right. And I just drained them because the thermo server is so hot. I didn't need to use a saucepan or anything. I do it sometimes with pasta.
That's great. What a great use for your thermo server. And
It
this
is
is my little segue because you've got the old style thermo server. I've got the new one. So if anyone's got these, the old style, you'll know how much space they take up in the cupboard. These ones actually stack. They're shaped so that you can nest them. And they've got a different style lid. So this is the lid for the new one. It's got a rubber seal, so it actually does seal a little bit more efficiently. And it comes with a strap that holds the lid in place. So once my pasta's done in 12 seconds, I'll transfer it in here with that spinach and then it'll be ready.
Kunal, how long do you quiche?
Mine needs about 3 more minutes just to get a little bit of color. So this is the long waiting period. It's just to get it cooked, but it's so quick to put together. So then you can have a glass of wine or put some, I don't know, laundry in the washing machine if you need to, or just relax after a long day. But it smells really good.
So I'm just guiding this spaghetti into the thermo server with a pair of tongs because it thickens up quite a lot when it cooks. My husband actually commented it reminds him of canned spaghetti, but in the best possible way. So there you go. And then I'll put that on a little pre-clean mode to wash the bowl.
Oh my goodness, Kunal.
And everyone, let's do this. I don't know. Oh, there's all sorts of things on my bench right now. There we go. So we'll just give it a little mix. And a sprinkle of Parmesan to serve, and it will be beautiful. There we go. Awesome. I want to know, Ilham, should we ask them in the chat what was the last quick dinner that they cooked? And then, you know, we can inspire each other.
That's a
I
good
know.
idea.
Cornell's ready. There we go.
Canal wants to show us.
Mine is done. So I'll just quickly show you how to get rid of the extra pastry. So you just take a knife and you just slightly cut it on an angle on the sides like that, and it just comes away. And my husband is stealing a bit.
Right. It smells too good to resist.
Yes, so you just take it off like that, and it's
Okay.
nice and neat.
I love that. Thanks for that tip. I'm definitely going
No
to,
worries.
because it does shrink. You're right. It does shrink when you're cooking. So
And then you've got this little side pastry with all the filling. So that is a way to get a perfect one every time.
awesome. Love it. And Beck's showing her end result. Maybe we should all lift our end results up to the camera.
Hang on. I need to do the little final zhuzh. Parmesan cheese, which you can grate in your Thermomix, but for finishing off, I use a zester. There we go. And I had the recipe says to garnish with basil. My basil plant's not doing too well, so we literally have microgreens. There we go.
It looks amazing. This new recipe for me. I'm going to try it.
Yeah, and that's why we do these classes, right, girls? Because we want to inspire everybody to try new things.
That's why we call it Inspired. This particular series is called Inspired By. So once a month, the second Wednesday of every month, and different people, you'll see different presenters, so you'll get new tips or different tips from different people. So,
and what was our next one? I can't remember.
I think it's a Christmas theme.
No, it's vegetarian, I think.
We had a veggie one before.
Oh, did we? Claire mustn't have updated the thing that she sent through earlier. There you go. It must be Christmas.
If you guys have any questions, and like Beck said, if anybody has a recipe, a quick dinner that you cook quite often, feel free to share it in the chat so that we can all try your recipe. Thank you, Pippi. You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody.
Hope you guys
Have a good night.
Yep. Hope you guys enjoyed and learned some tips along the way, and we'll consider contacting your consultant to host the demo so you can get your hands on the ThermoServer that Beck showed or the cutter that I showed today, the Cutter Plus.
I'll stop the recording now.